Good morning. My name is John Suazo, and I am a member of the Taos Pueblo tribe here. And this is my home. My people, the Taos Pueblo people, came from Mesa Verde on to Chaco Canyon. Then they made a circle up to this area. Then they made another round trip up to Mesa Verde. After living up there many years, they went back to Chaco Canyon. Then finally, all the members of Chaco Canyon went in different directions. And my people came up here the furthest out of 19 pueblos. We are the furthest north. Lately, I've been writing stories from my tape recordings I did in the 1970s of my elders, way back in the past. Taos Pueblo has been here over 1,000 years. The pueblo is 4 stories high, the main 2 pueblos that are in between the river that comes from our sacred Blue Lake. And it's made out of mud and straw. I found this photograph when I went to a photo show at the Cow Sharp Museum. And back in the early 1900s, Irving Cows was a painter here in Taos, and he painted the Taos Indians. And I believe he took this picture. And this is a picture of my shop here, and it was taken in 1910. And this is my great-grandfather sitting back here with the kids, and I believe these are my 2 grandmothers. And this, I believe, is my great-grandmother. When I grew up in here, everyone lived inside the village, and it was a wonderful life. Everyone knew each other. There was a lot of respect. There was storytelling in the evenings, in the winter times, and the next door neighbor will be having his fire going and heat up his wall as well as my wall. So the whole pueblo was very warm, and it was a good, wonderful life growing up in here. And one of my grandmothers, Lisa, never got married, and this was her home. This was her kitchen in here, and this was the living room, and my bed was right there in the corner. And my mom's house was in the back of this house. Growing up as a youngster here inside the village was a wonderful time. Us kids would be running out, playing with our bikes. Kids would be playing with their marbles. I would be visiting my grandfather next door. He would be telling me stories. Other kids would be running up on the 4-story buildings, you know, standing up there looking out at the horizon. In the wintertime, us kids would go down the river, and we would slide down with our shoes down the ice. But most of all, we would love to ride our horses, and that was a favorite pastime, riding our horses up into the hills and going fishing. I learned a lot about nature by doing that. My grandfather taught me a lot, which led to my interest in writing the histories of my people here. I started tape recording my elders when I was in college. These individuals who are all gone now, I can hear their voices. I can hear my grandfather talking. I can hear my uncle talking. One day I decided that I'm going to start writing these stories from the tapes. They were all in Tiwa language, so I had to put them in English. So there's stories in here about the Pueblo Rebellion of 1847, straight from a 12-year-old who witnessed the events. There's a story in here about my people moving to Kansas in the 1600s to escape Spanish rule and brutality, and lived there and built a small pueblo along with members of Pickery's Pueblo. And they took refuge next to the Plains Apache tribe, which I believe are the ones that protected them from the Spaniards coming after them. So they did return, but the ruins are still there in western Kansas. It's 300 miles away, and I always wonder how they escaped from here. Was it at nighttime? It was such a long walk, 300 miles. Also in my booklet is my family tree, which the University of New Mexico did for me. It goes back to 1802, and my great-grandmother was from Springer, New Mexico, full-blooded Spanish woman, Juanita Maestas. My father's dad went to work as a teenager in Springer, New Mexico, and met Juanita Maestas. And she came back to the Pueblo with him. They got married, and she learned the Pueblo language fluently, dressed as Taos Pueblo women did, and even took part in some of the ceremonies. She was an extraordinary Spanish woman. In the winter months, us kids would sit around the fireplace, and our grandfathers, grandmothers, or other visitors would come by and start telling stories. And one of my favorite stories was Mother Skunk and three little babies are coming down the hill to the Taos Pueblo River to drink water. And they're singing a song coming down. Koilaluna, koilaluna, iwi u paso thaiho, simu mu kim, simu mu kim. Koilaluna, koilaluna, iwi u paso thaiho, simu mu kim, simu mu kim. And once they reach the river, they drink their water and they look up the tree, and there is Magpie sitting up on top of the tree. And Magpie says, "No, I don't have any cheese. Fox up the hill has some." And they keep singing that song. Simu mu kim. That's one of the kid tales. A lot of these stories come from different people here at the Taos Pueblo. They're very interesting stories that no one has ever heard of or can be seen in history books, because my people really never talked about events to the public. And I hope that you all will enjoy my booklet of stories of Taos Pueblo, and they are available at my shop at the Taos Pueblo, as well as you can send a letter to my box, which is box 412, Taos, New Mexico. Thank you very much.